Sister Consolata, who loved nothing better than a juicy secret, blamed the Queen. "They say she's taken the king's brother into her confidence, and into her bed," she whispered to Sister Sulpice, elbowing her in the ribs. Mother Superior silenced them with a frown. "That will be all, sisters. Indulgence in tittle-tattle is unbecoming in a bride of Christ. It is my sincere hope that the king's faith in the convent of Poissy is not misplaced, and I trust you will treat His Highness's daughters with dignity and Christian charity, while they remain in our charge." The nuns had been genuinely aghast at the children's plight, and when they weren't preoccupied with their daily tasks and devotions, they seized every opportunity to gossip. In horrified whispers, they told each other that the little princesses had been sent to the convent for their own safety. It was well known, they said, that Queen Isabeau was no better than she should be, what with her poor mad husband locked up in St. Paul. Why, she wouldn't even pay for servants to look after him. Squandered the money probably on gowns and fripperies. Disgusting. Then there was the king's cousin, the Duke of Burgundy, John the Fearless, as people called him. In the nun's opinion, he was just as bad as the rest of the family, squabbling with the Queen over the guardianship of the royal children, while the poor king was under lock and key. Worst of all, they'd heard that the Queen's own brother had tried to abduct them, just a few weeks before the two youngest girls had arrived at the convent. No wonder they were dirty, neglected, and frightened. Sister Sulpice remembered that they smelled like little animals, and that once they had been stripped and washed, Mother Superior had ordered that their flea-infested clothes be burned. Since then, however agonizing the pain in her knees, Sister Sulpice had always knelt during Lauds and prayed fervently that this would not be the day when the dreaded royal warrant would arrive and Catherine would be snatched away from her, to be taken back to court, where her future would be decided. If only they would send for Marie instead, she thought uncharitably. After all, she was the older of the two, the more marriageable. But Marie had taken easily to convent life. She was already a postulant, and would soon be starting her novitiate. There would be no question of Marie returning to court. On the other hand, Catherine, though outwardly pious enough, had shown no interest at all in taking the veil. She had learned to read and write, and showed an aptitude for languages, becoming quite fluent in Latin, and even managing to learn a few words of English. Her neat stitches in the altar cloth she was helping to make were testament to her skills as a needlewoman, and she chanted the responses to the litany in a pleasant, tuneful voice. There was nothing more the nuns could teach her. Still soundly asleep, the girl turned on her side and muttered something. Sister Sulpice touched her shoulder. "What is it, my little one? Another nightmare?" She worried when Catherine cried in her sleep, as she sometimes did, waking up distressed, without ever being able to describe what she had been dreaming, sobbing about lots of people shouting and horses going too fast. And, the oddest thing of all, she always said she had the sweet taste of marchpane in her mouth. Gently, Sister Sulpice shook her shoulder. How could young girls possibly sleep so heavily? Perhaps it was because they were growing so fast at this age. It worried her that the shapeless grey woolen convent dress Catherine wore each day could no longer disguise the fact that she had become a young woman, attractive, even beautiful. But great beauty, to Sister Sulpice's way of thinking, was as much of a disadvantage to a woman as great ugliness. People would rarely look beyond either to see what lay beneath. What worried the old nun most of all was the rumour she'd heard last week from Sister Madeleine, who kept the postern gate and dealt with the tradesmen. She'd said a peddler had told her that the Queen was trying to bring about a marriage between her daughter Catherine and the English King, Henry V. The selfish, dissolute woman! It was nothing short of a sacrifice to offer the little one's hand in marriage to the great arrogant brute of a foreigner, whose avowed intention was to conquer the whole of France. Sister Sulpice crossed herself at the thought of Agincourt, the bloodiest of battles. The very name struck loathing, terror, and shame into French hearts. "Catherine, wake up.